Hello everyone and welcome to the highlights of round 4 of the URL-GT3 Championship from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. 19 drivers participated in this race and it was the Camaro GT3s that dominated the field in qualifying. Robert Horvat taking his first GT3 pole in the Camaro with a 2:17.4 around Spa, then followed by his teammate Peter Abelovsky and Florian Kutz, the championship leader, just behind them, all within 0.2 of a second around this long track. We had some guys returning to URL Racing, Reinhard Berger after an injury and Rob Timpen after a time off. So let's have a look at the highlights of the race. So here we are on the grid at Spa, Robert Horvat on the left getting ready for the green. Hopefully everyone gets away cleanly and off we go here. Everyone gets it off the line and one of the Ferraris going for the inside line there into La Source. Always very tricky, but everyone seems to negotiate the corner well without any incidents. And two Camaros of Abelovsky and Horvat keep the lead, closely followed by Florian Kutz. Everyone going through Eau Rouge and Radion. Very nice pictures here. And let's see who can make some pass into Lecum. Oh, the two teammates are side by side. Let's hope we don't see any Rosberg-Hamilton moves here. It's Peter Abelovsky going for the inside line. Oh, they touch. Yes, they both go off. Abelovsky, Robert Horvat both go off. That puts Florian Kutz into first and Gregory Olivier into second position. Very unfortunate incident there between the two. Team 87 here with Simon Fillingham getting a good start. A bit wide here then, and then behind them Miguel Santiago Carao and Greg Metcalf battling into Pouhon. Side by side, Miguel has the inside and claims the position for now in the number 1 Audi. And Fabrizio Micheli here with some of his countrymen, and Valère Royer as well, and Robert Horvat in last position at the moment. There's Florian getting onto the long back straight to finish the lap in first position probably, if he doesn't make any mistakes through the fast section here. And Gregory Olivier is not too far away, his best position at the moment for a URL race. So getting the braking done here. Reinhard Berger in third, then Tony Ukic, Simon Fillingham, Mitchell Smith in fifth, Minor Liguori then. Oh, and Fabrizio Micheli crashed there. Valère Royer, Rob Timpen in one of the Scuderia Glickenhaus cars. So that's the end of lap 1 with Fabrizio Micheli recovering. And here we are riding with the Nissan of Tony Ukic, closely followed by Ivan Gritello, and he gets a small touch. Tony has to go into the wall unfortunately, and then look here in the rear view mirrors, very close as they pass Tony, who has no speed, and then unfortunately Tony gets hit into the wall, and his race unfortunately is over at this point. So very bad luck for Tony Ukic here after a lot of practice. And then Fabrizio Micheli picking up the pieces as his countryman Sandro Donadel made a small mistake into Lecum, putting his car into a slide, and that's the BMW passing the Audi. Then in the opening stages it was very close with especially the Camaros slicing through the field. Very quick here around this track, driving with Angelo Guidici and now Peter Abelovsky behind Peter Bakus, and Voja Dobrovic gets through past Peter Bakus, very close there, and he keeps it around the outside. Angelo, can he pass Peter? They touch, but Peter stays in front. So Voja Dobrovic is in front of Peter Abelovsky at the moment. So a real battle pack there going on. And then in the opening stages still Gregory Olivier in second position, making a spin in the bus stop chicane. Unfortunately losing 3 positions. So the two Team 87 Ferraris gain a position. And then behind them it was Miguel Santiago Carao following Manuel Liguori very close, giving him a small tap, but getting worse off himself into the wall, and a crash as well by Voja Dobrovic, whose race is also over. Miguel will keep going for a little while, but meanwhile we ride with Robert Horvat, who is now also coming up to this battle with Angelo Guidici and Peter Bacchus after his teammate already passed these two. Angelo going a bit wide there, and Robert doesn't need a second invitation. He will take the position. Then Peter Abelovsky closed the gap down to Manuel Liguori. Camaro versus Lamborghini, and Peter gets a far better exit here onto the back straight, and he streams past Manuel Liguori. Very good straight line speed of the Camaro here, and there's nothing Manuel can do at the moment except for slot in behind and hope for the slipstream to be big enough. Then Miguel Santiago Carao, 2 laps later, getting very wide onto the curbs, crashing very hard and taking, unfortunately, Valère Loyer, who was right behind him with him. So that's a race over for these two, as well as Spa claims 2 other victims. So Robert Horvat here behind Ivan Gridello, and just in front of him Peter Abelovsky also gets past Greg Metcalf in exactly the same way as Robert gets past Ivan here. A lot of overspeed with a good exit, good run through Eau Rouge. And then Peter Abelovsky getting past Gregory Olivier around the outside if he can. There is no contact, a clean pass, but Gregory made a small mistake and put Nissan into the wall, but he can keep going, although he loses the position to Greg Metcalf as well. Then here we are, Greg Metcalf here following the Ferraris, then Gregory Olivier, and that's Robert Horvat then. Also getting past Gregory Olivier after another mistake. So they're really slicing through the field. Here is Florian Kutz, our race leader. He built up a gap to Reinhard Berger in the Ferrari, returning to URL-GT3 Racing. The gap is about 8 seconds before the pit stops. Then Simon Fillingham being hounded by Peter Abelovsky, already up to 4th again, and on the gravel for Simon. And there will be probably nothing he can do in the straight line when the Camaro gets a good exit. They're still side by side though, and Simon has the inside line for the Fast Blanchimont complex. Here they go, side by side. Oh, and on the curb. Can he keep it on the track with Mitchell Smith right behind? Yes, he can, but that's Peter Abelovsky through into 3rd position. So just before the pit stops, we have Florian Kutz, Reinhard Berger, and then Peter Abelovsky, who is really flying at the moment. Then the 2 Team 87, Simon Fillingham and Mitchell Smith in the Ferraris. Then Robert Horvat, who got past Greg Metcalf, and also Gregory Olivier, as we saw. Then Manuel Liguori, followed by his countryman Ivan Gridello. Peter Bacchus then in the Mercedes. Fabrizio Micheli making his way back up the field, as we saw past Sando Donadel and Angelo Guidici, and now we have some of the retirements, of course, as we saw all those incidents. So here's Reinhard Berger coming into the pits on exactly the same lap as the leader Florian Kutz, who we see here coming into his pit stall. And also third place man Peter Abelovsky will get into the pits. We see also Simon Fillingham, I think, if I'm not mistaken, going into the pits. And when he got out of the pits, this is what happened. So Robert Horvat not in the pits yet. He gets past Peter Bacchus, who is a lap down, if I'm not mistaken. And Simon Fillingham is right behind Peter, and Robert took the position from Simon there during the pit stops. Now can Simon take advantage of a good run through Eau Rouge in the Ferrari versus the Mercedes AMG. He is on the outside. He brakes late, but Peter, he overshoots his braking marker, goes wide into Lecombe and gives the position to Simon Fillingham. Of course, Peter Bacchus is not in this fight for position. Then Peter Abelovsky came out behind Reinhard Berger again in the pit stops, but as I said, he's really flying. He closed down the gap. The gap to the leader now is about 11 to 12 seconds. If he can get a good run through Eau Rouge, he will be able to pass the Ferrari for sure. Here they go, over the hill. And he tucks in behind the Ferrari. Look at that size difference between those two cars. But very good top speed of the Camaro, and he gets through for P2. So after an eventful first lap, Peter Abelovsky gets back up to P2 with a whole second stint to trying to get close to Florian Kutz, which he will close down the gap. We see him there in the background, but Florian Kutz will take the win here at Spa from Peter Abelovsky, some 5 seconds behind Florian. So the race was a bit too short for Peter to really make up all that time that he lost in the first lap. Reinhard Berger will start or renew his career at URL with a podium finish in the Ferrari Kessel Racing. Robert Horvat was not too far back, but not close enough to make any attempts on Reinhard after the pit stops. So then it was Simon Fillingham behind Robert Horvat, followed by his teammate Mitchell Smith. Very good finish here for Team 87. Then Gregory Olivier, and as you can see, all very close, but no position changes almost in that second stint. Greg Metcalf, then behind Gregory Olivier, followed closely by Mandio Liguori in the Lamborghini. All having to go through Eau Rouge for one last time. Angelo Guidici here then also making it to the end, going a bit wide on La Source, and Ivan Gridello is behind him. And now we have the retired cars with Peter Bacchus also crossing the finish line just in front of Fabrizio Micheli in the BMW. So that is the Spa race over, and here are the final results. As I said, Florian Kutz 5 seconds in front of Peter Abelovsky and Reinhard Berger. So 2 Camaros on the top 2 podium spots, with Peter Abelovsky setting the fastest lap by a big margin, so he was really flying. And as we saw as well, quite a lot of non-finishers due to incidents, especially at Eau Rouge and Raidillon, but that's how racing goes, especially here at Spa. Very good race to end the first half of the season. We have a bit of a break then now, but after the break we will go to Bathurst, so everyone will know what to do, because practice and confidence in the car will be paramount to get a good result in this race in Australia. So 2 weeks off for GT3s, 3 weeks off even after the next GT1 race at Le Mans. Stay tuned, join us at unitedracersleague.com and get racing with us.